Netflix has just dropped the official trailer of Monster, the Lizzie Borden story, and this might be one of the darkest seasons of the entire Monster franchise. We already know the famous story. Lizzie Borden was accused by brutally killing her father and stepmother with an axe in 1892. But the biggest question is still the same. Did Lizzie actually do it? And this new trailer makes the mystery even more disturbing because Netflix is not just showing us the murders. They are showing us a young woman trapped inside a cruel family surrounded by anger, control, secret, and violence. And then there is one massive surprise. Sarah Paulson is playing Aileen Wuornos. So why is a serial killer from almost 100 years later appearing in the story about Lizzie Borden? Let's break down everything we saw in the official trailer. What's going on everyone? Welcome back to Screen Time with Azhar. Today we are breaking down the official trailer for Netflix Monster the Lizzie Borden Story. This is the fourth major story in Ryan Murphy and Aaron Brennan's Monster anthology, following previous season about Jeffrey Dahmer, the Menendez brother, and Ed Gein. But this time the story is different. For the first time, the central figure is a woman accused of murder. And Netflix is taking one of America's most famous unsolved murder mystery and turning it into an intense psychological crime drama. The new season premieres on September 17, 2026. So let's start with what the trailer actually shows us. The trailer immediately gives us the feeling that Lizzie is not simply a cold-blooded killer. Instead, Netflix wants us to understand the environment around her. Ela Beatty plays Lizzie Borden, with Charlie Hunnam plays her father, Andrew Borden, and Rebecca Hall plays her stepmother, Abby Borden. And their relationship looks extremely unforgettable. Lizzie appears trapped inside a strict Victorian household where she has very little freedom. Her father controls the family. Her stepmother is also part of the oppressive environment. The Lizzie is clearly becoming more frustrated. The trailer repeatedly focuses on her anger. And that's important because this season is not just asking who killed the Bordens. It's also asking what could push someone to that point. The psychological angle seems to be at the heart of this entire series. One of the most interesting things about the trailer is that it does not make Lizzie's home feel safe. It almost feels like a prison. We see arguments, we see tension, we see Lizzie becoming increasingly rebellious. And the trailer suggests there are things happening inside the Borden household that outsiders don't know about. Netflix official description describes Lizzie as being trapped in a cruel Victorian era household before the murder shocked the nation. That gives us a major clue about how the show may approach the story. Instead of simply showing us a murder mystery from beginning to end, the series appears interested in showing the event that may have led up to the murders, and that make the final violence feel much more disturbing. Because we are going to spend time with these characters before everything falls apart. And then we reach the moment everyone knows is coming, the ex-murders. Lizzie's father and stepmother are brutally killed. Historically, Lizzie was accused of murdering Andrew and Abby Borden in 1892. But here is the most important part. She was never convicted. Lizzie was acquitted at trial. Yet the murders remain one of America's most famous unsolved true crime cases. That's why Netflix has so much room to create its own interpretation. The historical record gives us the basic event, but there are still unanswered questions surrounding what actually happened. And the trailer seems to play directly into the uncertainty. At one point we hear, no one really knows what happened that day. And then comes one of the most interesting response in the entire trailer. Oh, I fucking know what happened. That's Sarah Paulson. And suddenly the trailer becomes something completely different. Sarah Paulson is playing Aileen Wuornos, the real-life serial killer who committed murder in Florida decades after Lizzie Borden case. Warner was convicted of multiple murders committed between 1989 and 1990 and was executed in 2002. So naturally everyone is asking, why is Aileen Wuornos in the Lizzie Borden story? And no, this is not Lizzie and Aileen were secretly connected. They live in complete different periods. Instead, the show appears to be connected them thematically. Netflix itself described Paulson's role as Aileen Wuornos in this season. The idea seems to be exploring two very different women, accused and convicted of extreme violence, and asking questions about female rage, identity, and the circumstances surrounding violent acts. And honestly, this could become one of the most interesting part of the entire season. Think about the two stories. Lizzie Borden became famous because she was accused of murdering member of her own family in the 1890s. Aileen Wuornos became infamous nearly a century later because of the series of murder in Florida. There are complete different cases, but Rand Murphy Monster is not necessarily interested only in crimes. It's interested in psychology behind the people. That's why aliens appear suddenly make more sense. The series seems to be asking the larger question. Why do certain women become capable of extreme violence? And perhaps even more importantly, how does society react when women break the rule that society accepts them to follow? That could be the real connection between Lizzie and Aileen. And Sarah Paulson's presence could give the season a much bigger psychological dimension than a simple history retelling. Another character we should pay attention to the Bridge Sullivan, played by Vicky Krieps. Bridge was a maid working for Borden family, and from the trailer her relationship with Lizzie appeared to be very important. The two women seem to share an understanding of the pressure inside the Borden household. That could become extremely important when the murders happen. Because if Lizzie knows more than she is saying, Bridge could potentially be one of the most closest to the truth. And that created another mystery of the series. What did Bridge see? And perhaps more importantly, what did she know? We also have Emma Borden, Lizzie's older sister, played by Billie Lourd. Emma is another important part of the story because the relationship between the sisters could become complicated once suspicion starts falling on Lizzie. Imagine being in Emma's position. Your parents are murdered, your sister is accused, and suddenly everyone around you is asking whether the person you grew up with could actually be responsible. That gives the story another emotional layer because this is not just a murder mystery, it's a family falling apart. Now, here is what I think the most important thing about this trailer. Netflix does not seem interested in making Lizzie a simple villain. The trailer wants us to question her. Is she a victim? Is she a murderer? Is she both? Or is the truth somewhere in between? And because Lizzie was actually accused, the writers have a lot of room to explore theories without pretending we know the real answer. That means we should expect the show to mix historical fact with dramatic interpretation. So when you watch the series, remember, not everything shown on the screen should automatically be treated as something that definitely happened in real life. This is the dramatized interpretation of a famous historical case. My biggest prediction is that the actual murder won't be the biggest mystery. The bigger mystery will be why Lizzie became capable of committing them, if she committed them at all. I think the show will spend a lot of time building pressure inside the Borden household, and eventually that pressure will explode. But I also think Netflix will intentionally keep us questioning Lizzie's guilt for as long as possible. Because if we know from the beginning that she is definitely guilty, the mystery disappears. The real power of the story comes from the fact that even after more than a century, people still argue about what happened. And Netflix clearly wants to bring that debate back. After watching this trailer, I am actually more interested in this season than I was before. The Lizzie Borden case already has everything needed for a great true crime drama: a mystery murder, a controversial suspect, a dysfunctional family, an unforgettable crime scene, and a trial that did not give everyone the answer they wanted. But adding Sarah Paulson as Aileen Wuornos, making this season even more usual. Because now Monster is not simply telling the story of one infamous woman, it's comparing different stories of female violence across different generations. And if Rand Murphy handles that idea properly, this could be a very psychological season rather than just another bloody true crime story. Monster, the Lizzie Borden Story, premieres September 17, 2026 on Netflix. So what do you guys think? Was Lizzie Borden actually guilty, or was she wrongly accused? And why do you think Sarah Paulson's Aileen Wuornos is a part of this story? Let me know your theory in the comment. If you enjoy this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Screen Time with Azhar, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.